Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello everybody, welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom! This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, popped on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and it's all your favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And this morning we watched Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi.
It sounds like a mouthful, and it sounds extremely hard to say, but even written down, it just looks adorable.
Yeah, it's very cute, and it's based off the band, just real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
So in Japan, they are just called Puffy, but obviously because we have Puffy here, you know, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, there were copyright things that they couldn't just use that. So that's why they have their names tagged on to the end of it when they're in America.
And I heard he wasn't just not cool with it. I heard he was just extremely not cool with it.
Really? See, I didn't hear that much about it, but I believe it.
I read one article that he was just very, very unhappy. So yeah, they definitely had to change it.
So yeah, I just wanted to preface with that.
And this was suggested by Christopher1295 via Reddit.
So the show Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi aired from 2004 to 2006, created by Sam Register, developed by Shaki Hagnazarian, produced by Renegade Animation and Cartoon Network Studios, ran for 3 seasons, 39 episodes. But since it's three episodes per episode, 3 short ones, it's 117 total segments and 1 pilot. And this aired on Cartoon Network.
Man, that's a lot of episodes if you just kind of break it apart like that.
Yeah, that's why we got a line kind of towards one of the last episodes we watched that was hey, we're out of ideas, basically.
I liked that. That was good.
Yeah. So for a short synopsis written by Julianne Edwards 11, Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi follows 2 famous Japanese rock stars reacting to their lives, their fans, and the adventures they go on.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I don't know how to describe it any better, to be honest.
It's kind of a day in the life of these 2 band members.
And they're super fun. They're adorable. I love them, if you can't already tell. Spoiler alert. And hang on, let me say, the music's awesome. I love their style of music so much. If you have if you watch Teen Titans, then you have heard the music because they do. I don't want to say they do the music for Teen Titans, but Teen Titans uses a lot of their songs in the show and the movie. I think one of their songs was in Teen Titans Go, the movie.
And they did the intro too, right?
Yes, they did do the intro for Teen Titans, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So who are some of the actors who played in this show?
Well, the band members of Puffy, or Puffy AmiYumi, are Ami Onuki and Yumi Yoshimura, who appear as themselves in little live action bits kind of at the beginning and in between some of the episodes. So it's the little transitions from one episode to another. So there's them as themselves. But then cartoon Ami is voiced by Janice Kawai, who was the voice of Guy from Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Planeteers? We're not planting tears. I guess you can plant some tears if you really try. Also, the voice of Jenny from My Life as a Teenage Robot, which we did several months ago. That was a really fun one, too. The voice of Yumi was provided by Greg Griffin, who every time she's on here, I'm like, hey, she appears a lot. Well, she does. She was, here's some of the ones that we've done that she's made an appearance in. And that is the voice of Kimiko from Xiaolin Showdown, Daphne in most of the modern Scooby-Doo titles, Sam from Danny Phantom, Mandy from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Azula from Avatar The Last Airbender, and Aya from Green Lantern, the animated series. She's in a lot of stuff, and she's not slowing down anytime soon. And finally, the last character I'm going to talk about here is Kaz, voiced by Keon Young, who is the voice of Storm Shadow in the OG G.I. Joe. You I did more
cool.
initials there? Yeah.
OG G.I. Joe. Yeah.
OG G.I. Joe. He plays the role of Mr. Wu in the series Deadwood and Deadwood the movie. And he's also made lots of voice appearances in Centurions, Avatar The Last Airbender, Naruto, Star Wars Rebels, and Archer. And there's our very, very tiny cast.
Yeah, it is a pretty small cast. We don't see a lot of extra characters. I don't know if there's a lot of recurring ones other than the main three.
Yeah, there's a few that do come back, but it's not that many. And the ones that do aren't in a super ton of episodes.
I'm trying to think if we saw any recurring characters, but I don't think so.
No, nothing in the ones we watched.
But we only watched, we watched like 5 out of 117. So
Yeah.
odds are pretty against us. So for Peach Tasty Marshmallows, out of our big bowl of Puffy AmiYumi cereal, when the show first aired on Cartoon Network, it scored the highest rating ever for a cartoon premiere.
Wow, that's surprising. That's awesome.
I feel like it's doing better in kind of cult status than it did when it was originally airing, but I guess there was a huge amount of watchers on its premiere. And up until the premiere of regular show in 2010, this was the only Cartoon Network show to use licensed music.
Oh, wow. I never thought of that.
Ami, Yumi, and Kaz speak in Japanese when they are upset, injured, or being shocked. Ami and Kaz's voice actors are Japanese. Yumi's voice actress, Gray Delisle, learned how to speak some of the language in the series thanks to both her castmates. This is also evident in the episode of The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy titled My Peeps. So I guess that was something that she kind of carried forward with that show.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah. The skull on Yumi's shirt changes to match her expressions. For example, when she's shocked, it makes a surprised face. When she's happy, it makes a smiling face. And when she frowns, it makes a sad face or a scowl.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah, I didn't really notice it either, but it reminds me of, I think, Elmira's skull on her kind of hairpin, her Mr. Skullhead hairpin. I think that changes expressions too, if I recall.
I think sometimes it does.
The reason that the show was canceled in 2006 was because Sam Register, the show's creator, left Cartoon Network in 2006 and moved to Warner Brothers Animation. This is because Renegade Animation left to work on Cartoon Network's live-action movie pilot Reanimated, and Register hated the idea. Another reason for the show's cancellation was that it, along with the original Teen Titans, were overshadowed by the popularity of Ben 10 and My Gym Partner's a Monkey.
Huh.
Yeah, that's weird to me that I don't think I've ever seen Ben 10 or My Gym Partner's a Monkey, and it's weird to me that those overshadowed this show and Teen Titans.
Well, I do know that Ben 10 was definitely a big show when that started. So I guess I could kind of see it. The other one I really don't know much about at all. So
yeah, I'm sure we'll watch it on here eventually.
I guess.
The only, I guess the only experience I have with Ben 10 is in that one episode we watched where there was the big crossover.
Oh, with OK Go.
Yeah, with OK KO, Let's Be Heroes. So do you have any memories of this show? Did you ever watch it?
I didn't think I did, but I can tell you right now that the character design for Kaz is extremely familiar. So I guess I must have seen this at some point and maybe just didn't really know what it was. But that's I mean, I always, I think in the back of my head, I knew it existed because I'd seen like a few familiar things, but for whatever reason, Kaz was definitely like, I'm like, oh yeah, I've definitely seen this guy before.
Yeah, that's so funny because it was similar for me where I know I had heard of the show and the theme song sounded kind of familiar, but I wasn't really like, I was kind of thinking like, did I watch this ever? Like, what was it about the show that was kind of bringing back some memories? And then I see Kaz come in and I'm like, oh man, I totally recognize him. Like more than I did the other characters for some reason. I immediately took me back to maybe seeing an episode or two of this show when I was growing up. I'm not sure. Well, I wouldn't even have been a kid at that point. I would have been like, I would have just graduated high school when this came out.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, he's just a super memorable character.
Yeah, he is so funny, though. I really like that character.
Oh, he is. He's the best.
So the episodes we watched for today's show are kind of weird again, since they are short episodes that are like split apart, a single 20-minute episode 3 different ways. So we watched one part of 2 episodes, and then the last episode we watched the whole episode, which was all 3 parts. So we technically watched 5 shorts.
Yes.
But these are like shorts. They're like maybe 7-8 minutes long each.
Short shorts, just like the ones I like to wear.
Yeah, you do like to wear short shorts.
Yeah, I'm wearing some right now. Honestly, you can see all of my thighs.
Who wears short shorts? Chris wears short shorts.
Yeah.
So the first mini episode we watched for today's show was Disharmony, Season 1, Episode 1A. In this one, Harmony, Ami and Yumi's number one fan, makes both Ami and Yumi anxious. That's literally the description that was on there.
I love this. I love this episode. And there's multiple reasons I love it. One, because it was just really funny. I like the over the top, crazy fan thing. And it also it reminded me of something that I had witnessed before. So the premise of this is, they have this super fan named Harmony who knows everything about them and just keeps showing up everywhere and is getting kind of creepy. The story I have that relates to
kind of creepy is being a little
it gets
too
super
generous.
creepy.
Yeah,
like hiding in their clothing drawers, snorting their socks. Level creepy. The story that I have that's similar to this is when I was in a band, we played a show somewhere, and this girl came up who was absolutely not old enough to be there. And didn't even look close enough to that age. And she asked one of our guitar players, who was on the younger side, he's 18, but this girl was way younger than that, if he would sign her bra, which had to have been a training bra at that point. But he has the scaredest look on his face. No, this is a trap. He takes a marker, and this is permanent marker, man. He signs her forehead and then shoos her on.
Wow.
I love it. But yeah, this was it reminded me of that because we were all kind of creeped out by that moment. Nope. Nope. That's not good.
Yeah,
so,
that would have been a moment To Catch a Predator would have
right.
come
we
in
were just what is Chris Hansen here in the room?
Have a seat. Why don't you have a seat? Yeah.
Chris Hansen's in the crowd somewhere.
Right.
We're no, dude, we're not going that way. But yeah, so this immediately this episode endeared itself to me because I'm I can have
you can
that
relate
kind of
to
relate.
it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. And some of the ridiculous fact she knows about them, how was it squirrels make Yumi nervous?
Ami eats pickles with peanut butter when she's happy. Yumi loves nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. All kinds of weird stuff. You have a mole on the bottom of your left foot, weird things like that. And a lot of this is them trying to get away from her. They even give her something like Kaz, who is their manager, basically is just she won this contest. And don't you have some special gift to give her? So Ami just gives her an ink pen, and Yumi takes a lollipop from her and bites it. And is here, have a dental impression. But she's super into it.
First, Ami tries to give her a signed electric guitar. And Kaz this is where we find out Kaz is very, very cheap and stingy. So he's no, something cheaper. And so that's why she gives her that purple pin. And Yumi just bites the lollipop. Yeah. And they kind of just shoo her away. But after that, that's where it gets real creepy because she keeps showing up in the weirdest of places. She's just always there and always just spying on them, basically.
And they do the kind of montage that you would associate with a show like this, where they're literally driving or running across a map, and with her popping out of various places around the world, places she shouldn't be. So it just keeps happening. She has this creepy laugh. Her eyes turn green and spiral and stuff like that. And it's set to some of Puffy's music, which is fantastic. Seriously, there wasn't a single song in this show that I was no, I wouldn't listen to this on my own time. I'm really into it.
It's all very upbeat, and I mean it's J-pop, so
absolutely.
If you're into that, and like we said, you enjoy things like the intro to Teen Titans, it's pretty much that, just almost every episode. I don't know if there was an episode that went without a song. There might have been, but for the most part, what we saw, there was at least one song in every episode. And they kind of break it up a little bit, where the episodes flow in a certain way that they have the intro, the problem presents itself. Then there's a montage to try to resolve said problem set to music. And then there's resolution. And like all that within about 7 or 8 minutes. So I can see why the formula is necessary to keep things flowing, but you start to notice it pretty quick.
You know what is a really good example to compare it to is that episode of Teen Titans we reviewed called Mad Mod. Remember that?
Yes.
It is just like that.
Exactly, because that also had the montage with the music of Puffy in it.
I know, it's like exactly their formula, the song, everything. My favorite was when like they even like travel to the moon and then Harmony like just bursts out of Yumi's t-shirt like Alien.
Right,
that was
the chest burster. That was good. I like that one.
Yeah. What the resolution ends up being is they get back to the bus and Kaz is in like a sauna on the bus. I don't know how they got a sauna on there. And he's singing and not well. But just because he's singing, then Harmony like becomes obsessed with him and is like, I'm your biggest fan, and chases him off the bus. But what's funny though is the twist is like Ami and Yumi like immediately miss her and get sad and start crying, and then they try to chase her back down too, which is really fun.
Yeah, they miss that hardcore fandom.
Real quick, let's talk about the three main characters and what their personalities are like. And not to keep comparing so much to Teen Titans, but like Ami is kind of that nice, naive girl that she reminds me of Starfire a lot.
Yep.
From Teen Titans. Like she's cute. She likes cutesy things. She's a little ditzy.
Yeah, and I'll take Yumi is parallel to Raven because she's very like goth in a way, darker, has a grittier personality.
Yeah.
Almost Buttercup from Powerpuff Girls too.
Yeah,
so it's Bubbles, Buttercup, it's Starfire, Raven. You know, it's these small comparisons you make where it's like the bright side, the dark side. They mix together well because of their contrasting personalities.
Yeah. And then you have Kaz, who is the manager. Like you said, he's kind of a cheapskate. He's also probably the goofiest of all of them. Like he's definitely they're all three funny, but if you had to choose one to say this is the one that we would call comedy relief, that's Kaz.
Oh, definitely. I mean, which is weird because this is pretty much a straight comedy, but he is just like over the top.
Yeah. He's like the goofy force of nature that isn't inevitable. Like he will happen every episode. Something weird's going to happen, and it's going to be revolving around Kaz.
He is, but it's not to the extent of being annoying like some characters who are like that get.
Yeah, definitely not. Kaz is my favorite. Easy.
He's the Beast Boy if we want to keep going Teen Titan comparisons.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how that episode wrapped up, which brings us to the next one, which was Treasure Map, Season 1, Episode 10A, which was the listener pick. So Christopher 1295 chose this one, and we get the live action start. So where it prefaces, I don't remember what they were even talking about. They were having a staring contest. That's what it was, where Ami and Yumi, live action, having a staring contest. So they're like, sorry, we can't look. And they just kind of intro the episode and send us on our way. Opens with everybody jamming on the bus and talking about how nothing could ever come between them, which obviously means something inevitably is about to come between them. There's this car that drives by and nearly hits the bus. And then while Kaz is kind of looking out the window, kind of cursing at them, this big sheet of paper like flies into his face and kind of temporarily blinds him.
Yeah, it turns out it's a map. It looks like a treasure map, actually. And then they're like immediately like, oh my God, with like, there's a treasure map. We actually have to find this treasure. And they're all kind of, each one of them dreams about what it could be, which are very different. So Yumi is thinking very adventurous. Like there's like a jade monkey of power and she's fighting mummies for it. Where Ami is just seeing all these different like jewelry and clothes, like even like ruby slippers, like Wizard of Oz style, and a prom dress.
Oh, a 14-karat prom dress, yeah.
14-karat prom dress. Kaz's was my favorite because he is just like everything seemed normal, but then all of a sudden he's like makes like a little fart noise and he lays a golden egg. And he's like, oh, he's like, I'm rich and a mother.
Yeah, that was good.
I love that.
What kind of surprised me was like everybody turns against each other at this point. And I didn't see Ami's personality as that, but even she's like, no, like I have to get this for myself. And so,
well, yeah, I like that about her though, is because it's like, she's got this, like, she's nice, but she's got that super like over the top competitive streak. to her.
Yeah.
Because we see a little bit that in the next one that we do too, but I thought that was super funny how like she gets so ruthless trying to like get this treasure map for herself.
She even calls it out and is like, what? Can a girl be sweet and greedy?
Yeah, so they do the thing where like they leave the map in a neutral area. They all go to their own beds, but then all three of them try to sneak and grab it in the middle of the night. Like Kaz puts on this invisible cream, but in the fine print it says it only lasts 20 seconds, so he just reappears like right as he's trying to steal it. Yumi's on the ceiling, Ami's just trying to sneak through. They all try to grab it, they rip it, and they're like, oh, well, we'll just, I guess, have to stay together at all times. But that's when Ami's like, nope, grabs it, tapes it, runs. Just makes her run for it.
Yeah, this is where we get the montage with I think the song was called like Planet Tokyo or something, or I kept hearing that as a line.
That was my favorite song in this whole thing was Planet Tokyo. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. And like this show kind of served as a vehicle to present their music to an American audience because it was a purely American made show, even though it has a ton of like anime elements and like looks very Japanese in its style.
Yeah.
It was made here in America too. And I don't know the facts behind it as far as like why Sam Register decided to make the show. I'm assuming he was just a big fan of the band itself and saw the opportunity. And so that's why he brought it to us and blessed us with it.
Yeah. And well, if you think about it too, it's like around that time period was when anime really was taking off in the United States. Because it's like with the addition of like Toonami and Adult Swim, all of a sudden there was like this big vehicle for everyone to be exposed to anime more often than not. But like, I mean, you can get some things through Toonami, but like younger kids and stuff like that, you know, they might not be able to watch DBZ. They certainly can't stay up all night and watch some of the ones on Adult Swim. So then you got the things like, you know, Teen Titans and Avatar: The Last Airbender and this that are kind of like this Americanized anime, like anime light. And it serves as a big introduction point of like, hey, here's like a tiny treat of this stuff that's being made out there. But this isn't like, you know, this isn't anime, but this is real close. So like, here's a small step you can use to get into the pool. And along with that, the genius of this is like, here's that plus here's this music that you've never heard before. And it's just genius to me, the way that they introduced this.
It was really smart. And I think that, and I'm not sure, I'm trying to take myself back to that time period, but I don't remember how popular J-pop was at that time. I feel like it was around because I remember some kids in high school like being big fans of it, but I don't know if it was like presented much like on different cartoons or anything.
Right.
So this and like you said, Teen Titans and stuff kind of served as vehicles for that, as well as the westernized anime style.
Oh yeah, Puffy is definitely the first J-pop I've ever heard, like hands down. And I think I got that through Teen Titans before I got it through this, for sure. But definitely they were my first exposure to it and still my favorite out of anything J-pop. Though Baby Metal is really fun, though. I just want to throw that out there. I do love Baby Metal.
Absolutely.
A little bit of a different sound, but I love them.
So yeah, sorry to distract there. I was thinking of it as I was talking about it, but as we were talking about this episode. But yeah, so we have the montage. They're fighting over the map, and they finally get to the end point, but it's right where they started. And so like, what kind of garbage treasure is this worthless treasure? And then like the guy who was in the car who dropped the map was kind of there looking for it. You know, he looks like a rich, like a kind of art dealer kind of guy. And for good reason, because it turns out that happened to be modern art that was on that paper, or that flew out of the car. And that's what he was looking for. It wasn't a map after all. So he's like, it's not worthless, though. Like, I've offered a huge reward for it. And they're just like, even though he ripped it. And I like his pause there where he's just like, no, now it really is worthless.
But the best part is then he blows his nose in it and leaves. Just to add insult to injury. Their
friendship is kind of rekindled after this whole greedy search for this treasure. And they're just kind of saying like they're actually sing a song at the end as they're riding off. That's like, it says something like, we acted like a bunch of jerks, but now we're friends again. Oh, they're doing like a row your boat thing, but
Yeah.
rock the bus. Yeah. So that was a fun way to end it. I really like this episode. This might have been my favorite out of the bunch. I don't know. Let's talk about the others and maybe I can be convinced otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
So the last so this one was the full episode that we watched because it was the highest rated, but we didn't know which one of the little segments were the highest rated. But since they were so short, we just decided to watch all of them and see. And plus, it's a fun show, so I didn't mind it. So this is season 3, episode 8. Part A is Jungle Prom. And they are trying to get from New York to Boston. And for some reason, they're taking a shortcut through Africa. And that's really what kind of sets the stage for this. And they run into who's basically George of the Jungle or Tarzan or something. But it's this like overweight, like out of shape jungle man named Ed. And he's sulking because his girlfriend broke his heart and he's trying to win her back. Myrna broke his heart and he's trying to win her back. And so that's the challenge here is them trying to get Ed back with Myrna.
It did crack me up how Ed talks like a caveman and everything, but Myrna just talks like a normal person, just like everybody else. And like she's very aware of everything. And Ed is it's very obvious he's just an idiot.
So I wonder if she's like the Jane to his
Pretty
Tarzan.
much, yeah. And how sad is it that it took me halfway through this segment to realize, because I'm like, wait, why would there be a white dude in the jungle? It took me a while to remember both Tarzan and George of the Jungle pre-existed before this.
Wow.
I felt like an idiot, honestly.
Well, that's fun.
So they kind of talked to Ed and they're like, well, you know, what was your happiest time with her? Maybe if we can recreate that, then that'll get her back. And so they decide to go with Prom. So hence Jungle Prom. They invite all these animals of the jungle, which was funny in and of itself, especially when the animals show up wearing tuxes and dresses, like dancing and stuff. I love that. My favorite of all the animals was the lion wearing the eye patch. I love him.
Oh, yeah. He was pretty awesome. Oh, real quick, though, before we jump into the whole prom thing. So Myrna's reason or her reasoning for leaving Ed was basically we used to cheat death every day. Like they used to go like swinging around the jungle on vines and stuff. And now he just cheats on his diet. And we see like old pictures of him where he is like a super fit Tarzan type. And now he is just like an overweight middle-aged man.
And one thing that keeps popping up is like this perfume that Kaz tries to use called Eau de Raw Zebra, which is really funny. And getting desperate because Myrna's just not into it. Someone sprays the perfume or the cologne or whatever, which triggers the lions and the lion with the eye patch to show up and start like going crazy, like they're gonna kill everybody because they think everybody smells like a raw zebra, specifically a raw zebra. And then Ed, like something kind of kicks in and he beats the lions up and it kind of triggers like Myrna's old feelings for him of like, oh yeah, he's defending us. He's fighting these lions. That's very daring. And she just gets super into it and they're back together.
And this one doesn't really end with any kind of joke or anything. That's just sort of where it stops is like they get back together and they're happy.
I like the live action transitions here where like Ami and Yumi, like the real Ami and Yumi, hold up a sign that says the episode name just for an awkward amount of time. Like, you know, it just lasts way too long.
And sometimes they look confused. Laughing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was also other Japanese people that they got to hold up those signs too, just like random other people on the street. So I thought that was a fun way to do it.
They're like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So the second part of this episode, part B, was Truth or Dare. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Ami and Yumi are having a slumber party on the tour bus because they're like, oh, we should have thought this years ago. This is so fun. But then they're just like kind of sitting there like, what do we do? Like, what do you do on a slumber party? Like, we're bored. So they're like, oh, I know. Let's play Truth or Dare. And they keep like asking these questions like truths. Like, when's the last time you did something really, really wrong? And it'll cut to these flashbacks of them, like in this case, with Ami cleaning this filthy bathroom with Yumi's toothbrush. And then,
that was so gross. That made me cringe.
I know,
and she started scrubbing the toilet. Ugh.
Yeah. And then it'll cut back to the present, and she'll be like, I'll go dare. And so they keep they keep daring each other with these like crazy over the top things. The first one's not too bad. It's like she needs to steal Senor Whippy Wappy, which is Kaz's stuffed animal bunny who he sleeps with all the time. So this is that's the first thing. That was the first challenge. And then they just keep going back and forth with things like this, except the dares keep getting more and more excessive and crazy.
Oh, yeah. It just escalates like crazy. At one point, Ami has to graffiti Mount Rushmore while she's flying by in a plane, and she gets shot down by the Air Force. Yumi bungee jumps off a bridge over a bunch of sharks. And even though she gets back to the bridge, there's a giant shark up there waiting for her. You see him like running with the bulls, walking across hot coals, drinking a gigantic soda like the size of a house. At one, they appear at one of their own shows, dressed in those like traditional like German outfits, playing like an accordion and one of those longhorns from the Ricola ads.
Yeah.
And the fans hate it and throw stuff, and they basically get beat up and end up in the hospital.
As silly as it sounds, like the message of this was kind of sweet, where, you know, they could have taken truth anytime, but all the truths that they had would have potentially hurt the other person's feelings. And they didn't want to do that over all else. Like all of those dares they would have rather taken than hurt the other person's feelings. So that's kind of like a sweet friendship message that it sends. But at the same time, then it goes right back to, I dare you to try to get out of this bed. Like when they're all like in cast and stuff and all crippled, they're like, all right, and I dare you to try with me. And so it's a continuing game, but the message is like they would rather do all these excessive things and hurt each other's feelings.
Yeah, moral of the story is if you have the choice to hurt a friend's feelings or put yourself in terrible danger, always put yourself in danger.
I would do the same for you any day.
Oh my gosh, me too. I'm going to go stand in traffic now. I'll be right back.
I'm going to go spray paint Mount Rushmore real quick. BRB. Last episode we watched for today's show was Sumo Kaz, which was part C. In this one, like they're watching sumo on TV and Yumi's bored, like she doesn't care for it, but Ami's getting really into it. Or not on TV, sorry. They're actually at a sumo match.
They're at a match.
And Yumi's super bored and Ami's really into it, and Kaz is also super into it, but he's eating tuna at the same time.
Yeah, and I have a sneaking, this was my favorite episode. I have a sneaking suspicion this might be why this was the highest rated one. Not entirely sure, but I feel like this one really stood out, especially because Kaz was really the butt of the joke for this whole thing. It was such a heavy Kaz episode.
It was really funny, too.
While he's not paying attention to the match, he's eating sushi, and he drops a piece, and it lands in the ring. He dives down to get it, and the sumo who had just won his match trips over him and falls out of the ring, which makes Kaz the champion. They're just like, oh my gosh, like Ami gets super excited about it because she got so into it. And she's like, I'm gonna train you and everything. And he's just kind of apprehensive. But then she's like, come on, think about it. Like there's fame, fortune, all the food you can eat. And then he's immediately interested.
Oh, yeah.
Goes to a sumo academy, but it sucks. He has to do all the chores and eat scraps and stuff until like Ami really begins his training, which is mostly just eating a ton of food.
Yeah, at least Kaz's portion of it is like she doesn't really teach him the sumo part of it as much as the getting bigger part of it. And man, does he get big.
Yeah, I just want to point out, so in comparison to a normal sized person in this show, Kaz is about the size of a small baby. Like, I mean, it's just, he's that small.
That's a good comparison.
But like, this is the funny part is like when we see him again next, like in the ring, he is so huge. But I mean, he's not just like super fat. He's also super tall. He's like towering over everybody else. But he got so big, he can't move, which is great.
Yeah, he's so big that he can't even like, you know how the sumo wrestlers do that like stomp thing before they go into a match? Like he can't lift his legs to even stomp. And so he's kind of just like an immovable object at this point.
Yes. I like that, like, so Ami and Yumi are scared for him and try to intervene, and the other sumo just falls on them and squishes them. And then we get a little bit of a montage again, like not as much as the other ones, but where like they got Kaz in a wheelbarrow and they're trying to get him out of there and they're being chased by other sumo. All that kind of stuff is happening. In the midst of it, like Kaz just keeps eating and again drops a piece of sushi. History repeats itself. He accidentally wins again.
He wins that match, and then all these other sumo wrestlers come out to try to challenge him, and he's like, okay, I'm going to retire as undefeated champion. So they leave. They finally escape, and they're back on the tour bus, but Kaz is still huge, and he needs to lose all this weight.
You can see the tour bus, like, there's a quick shot of the outside of the tour bus before we see what's going on inside, and it's so lopsided.
Yeah. And so we go back into the tour bus and we see Kaz, who needs to lose all this weight now. And in order to support him, Ami and Yumi also gain weight. And they say this line that's like, well, we are called Puffy AmiYumi. And then that's the throwaway line. They're like, well, after 117 episodes, you get a little desperate for jokes.
Yes. They apologize for the fat joke. They're like, we're sorry, but we're basically out of ideas. And I love that. I love how honest that is, too. Because, you know what? Like, some people could get their feelings hurt from, you know, making fat jokes and stuff like that. I'm sure there's plenty that do, but that's why they're just kind of like, you know, this is all in fun. We're not making fun of fat people, you know, knowingly. Like, they're not trying to do that. They're just making fun of their own characters by doing goofy things out of the normal for them and putting them in exaggerated, ridiculous situations. So I really liked that line at the end. I thought that was a perfect way to end this episode and to end the ones that we watched.
Yeah, and it was one of the last episodes, too. I don't think it was the very last one, but it was definitely one of.
Yeah.
And to close it out, they just kind of fall through the floor of the bus. Because they are all gigantic. It is so funny looking. Well, Chris, it looks like it's about time we send our inner kids to rock out with Ami and Yumi while hopefully getting fattened up enough to compete for Kaz's abandoned sumo championship. Then see what they thought of the show, Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi.
This cartoon was so fun because you got these super cool J-pop girls that are really cute and touring all over the place with some sweet rock music, and I love it. I wonder if they're looking for a drummer, or even just a roadie. This might be my ticket to the big time, because I gave this cartoon 5 bowls of sock sniffer cereal out of 5.
This series was quirky, lighthearted, and very poppy. It takes some cues from older cartoons, feeling very formulaic in its execution at times, but blends the band's music nicely into the episodes to help break them up a bit. Due to its short runtime, it does tend to rely very heavily on slapstick humor, but also throws in some valuable moral lessons along the way. Overall, I'd give Hi Hi Puffy AmiYumi 5 big bowls of dare you to eat dog food cereal out of 5, and think it's worth jumping into if you're looking for a fast-paced and fun animated show.
Yeah, honestly, like, I was so into this that I am going to, actually, after this episode, I'm going to add their music to my Spotify. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, this is the stuff I would listen to.
I was thinking the exact same thing, and I've been on a big vinyl kick lately because we have a room that's basically dedicated to our record player, and it's got nice acoustics to it. So we've been getting a ton of vinyls, and I was wondering, like, man, if I could get this and it has like a cool record, then I'd be all over it. Like, this inspired me. This show inspired me to do that, just to listen to this fun music.
And like, I'll give you some credit there, because every time I try to find a record on vinyl, I can never find it. So good luck with that. It's never going to happen for me, but maybe you'll get lucky. So with that said, do you have any final thoughts on the show?
Yeah, like, it was just a ton of fun, and they're so short and digestible. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I really prefer these kind of short episodes, mostly the ones that are split like A and B, but this ABC split was fine too. With as short as these episodes were, they were really able to cram a lot into it and make them fun and digestible and not seem too short at all. So that was impressive to me. And also throwing the music in to help break it up a bit really helped. And it kind of puts a different mood to it as well. So yeah, if you just want to watch a fun short show that's got some cool messages in it, I'd say just try to find it and go ahead and do it. Like, it's good for kids, good for adults. I just think all around it's a fun show. Yeah,
this is definitely one that like anybody could watch and anyone would enjoy. Like, the jokes they're not so kiddie that it's specifically for kids. It's just fun. It's very fun. It's got a lot of energy. It can be silly, but these characters are fleshed out really well. The animation's super memorable. The music is absolutely fantastic if you haven't figured that out, because that's all we say. And the show doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's very aware of what it is, and that shows in the writing, especially with that last episode when they even said, hey, we're just out of ideas for this one, so let's just have fun with it. It's exactly what it needed to be. It's so energetic and expressive, as much as the music that goes along with it. So I really enjoyed it. It's going to be on my playlist. It's going to be playing in my car for probably the next several weeks because I am super into this.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of like a great visual art accompaniment to the audio art that is that music.
Exactly.
So they pair so well together. And I was almost getting like Toxic Crusader vibes from it, in that it's very like breaking the fourth wall at times.
Yeah.
And that's always a lot of fun. If the writing doesn't take itself so seriously and they're able to kind of poke fun at themselves, then it really helps you get into it as well.
I like that a lot too. And also it kind of reminded me of this other anime that I used to really be into, which we will get to eventually, which is FLCL.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that like music is a really big part of that one too. And it just kind of, it takes me back to thinking of things like that. So I really enjoy when they're able to pull something off like that really well.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure how you would feel about this. I thought you'd be a little on the fence about it, but then I can see how you might relate to it more, having been in a band in the past as well. So maybe that nostalgia helped a bit, but I'm glad to hear you liked it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely loved it. And I would watch more of the show. I probably will.
So thank you, Christopher1295, for suggesting this to us. It was, again, hitting out of the park with these suggestions.
Yes, thank you so much. And just keep them coming, man. You keep giving us really good ones. Obviously, the listeners are into your picks just as much as you are and we are, because you keep getting voted up. So there you go. You're on a win streak so far, buddy.
So maybe just retire as champion like Kaz
You could
did.
retire as champion if you want, yeah.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. Next week, we'll be watching
Dog Tanyan and the Three Muskehounds, submitted via YouTube and found at the bottom of the list by Andrew Gordon.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so we got through a bunch of real good ones, and now we have tripped and fallen down that pit of despair into the bottom of the request list to see what's scurrying down in the depths, and we have found Dog Tanyan and the Three Muskehounds under some of the muck. So that's where we are. That's what's happening. That's what we're looking forward to.
Gross. Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. But the moment you said Dog Tanyan, like I got like a weird like chill up my spine. Like, this is not going to be good. But hopefully it'll prove me wrong.
You never know, man. You never know. You got to love those kind of puns. You get it instead of D'Artagnan, it's Dog Tanyan.
Do I have to love them?
You got yes.
You got to.
You got to now.
If you say so. I'd do anything for you, friend.
You should. Now pull me out of the pit.
No, you stayed on there.
Oh.
Think about what you've done.
Oh.
Once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris. I'm down in the well.
And we'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth.
A place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.